No one really warns you before you enlist. Not in a real way, not in the way that actually prepares you. They give you the highlights, the speeches, the pride, the promise of purpose. They show you the uniform before they show you the weight. And by the time you realize what that weight feels like, you're already wearing it. Let me ask you something first. Have you ever made a decision that changed who you were going to become before you fully understood what it would take from you? Because that's what enlisting really is. The first thing no one warns you about is this. You don't just join an organization, you give up control of your life in ways you can't fully imagine yet. Your time is no longer yours. Your body is no longer just your own. Your plans, your comfort, your preferences, those move to the bottom of the list. At first you tell yourself it's temporary, that you can handle it, that everyone sacrifices a little. But no one tells you how heavy it feels when that loss of control doesn't end after a few weeks or a few months, but stretches into years. You don't decide when you wake up. You don't decide when you sleep. You don't decide where you go, how long you stay, or when you come back. And slowly, without noticing it, your sense of autonomy changes. You stop asking what you want. You start asking what's required. That shift is permanent. Another thing no one warns you about, you will miss life, and it will not wait for you. Birthdays happen without you. Weddings go on without you. Funerals pass without you standing there. You'll see pictures online of moments you were supposed to be part of. You'll get messages that say, "I know you're busy, but I just wanted you to know." And over time, people stop reaching out as much, not because they don't care, but because they learn you exist in a different world now. The hardest part isn't missing events, it's realizing the world back home keeps moving, and you're no longer at the center of it. No one tells you how lonely that can feel. Another hard truth no one mentions. Relationships change, and not always in dramatic ways. Sometimes they just fade. Distance creates silence. Silence creates misunderstanding. And eventually, familiarity disappears. You'll come home and feel like a guest in places that used to feel like home. You'll notice conversations feel different. You'll realize you've changed faster than the people around you. And that gap, it's uncomfortable. Here's something else they don't warn you about. You will become extremely good at things that don't translate to civilian life. You'll learn discipline under pressure. You'll learn how to function with no sleep, how to stay calm when things fall apart, how to carry responsibility without complaining. But no one tells you how strange it feels when those skills don't earn recognition outside the uniform. You'll sit across from people who've never had to make decisions with real consequences, and they'll complain about things that feel small to you. You won't argue, you won't explain, you'll just nod, because explaining would take too long, and they wouldn't understand anyway. That leads to another warning no one gives you. You will feel disconnected from civilians. Not superior, not inferior, just separate. Your sense of urgency will be different. Your tolerance for excuses will be lower. Your understanding of responsibility will be sharper. And once that perspective is formed, it doesn't disappear when the uniform comes off. Another thing they don't warn you about, you will be tired in ways rest can't fix. Physical exhaustion is easy, mental exhaustion is manageable. But emotional exhaustion, that's the one that stays quiet until it's deep. Constant alertness, constant evaluation, constant awareness that mistakes matter. You learn to suppress emotions because there's no space for them at the moment. And suppression works until it becomes a habit. Then one day, you're home, everything is calm, and you still can't relax. Your body doesn't know how. No one tells you how hard it is to turn vigilance off. Another truth people don't like to talk about. The military reshapes your identity. At some point, the uniform stops being something you wear and becomes something you are. Your rank becomes your worth. Your performance becomes your value. Your role becomes your identity. That structure can feel powerful. It gives clarity. It gives direction. But it also creates a risk. Because one day, whether you plan for it or not, that structure ends. And no one really prepares you for how disorienting that feels. Who are you when no one gives you orders? Who are you without a mission? Who are you when the system that defined you disappears? That question hits harder than boot camp ever did. Here's another thing no one warns you about. You will meet the best people you'll ever know and say goodbye to them too often. You'll build bonds fast, strong bonds. The kind formed through shared stress and shared responsibility. But people leave. They transfer. They get out. And goodbyes become routine. You learn not to get too attached, and that lesson follows you into civilian life, whether you want it to or not. Another hard truth. You will see sides of yourself you didn't know existed. Not all of them are good. You'll see how you react when you're exhausted, when you're scared, when you're under authority you don't agree with. You might be proud of who you become. You might be disappointed. And most of the time, there's no space to process it. You just move on to the next task. Another thing no one warns you about: the boredom. People imagine constant action, constant intensity. The reality is often long stretches of waiting, repetition, routine, hours of nothing, punctuated by moments of everything. That contrast messes with your head. You learn how to stay ready without stimulation, how to be patient under pressure. That skill doesn't get talked about, but it changes you. Here's something subtle but important. You stop judging people by what they say and start judging them by what they do. Reliability becomes everything. Who shows up? Who handles pressure? Who doesn't fold when it gets uncomfortable? That mindset stays with you forever. Words stop impressing you. Consistency does. Another warning no one gives you: you will carry moments you can't explain, not because they're classified, but because language isn't enough. Moments of fear, moments of loss, moments where you realized how thin the line really is, and when someone asks, "What was it like?" you'll give a simple answer, not because you're hiding the truth, but because the truth doesn't fit into casual conversation. Here's the truth recruiters rarely say out loud: service gives you purpose, but it also takes pieces of you. But it does mean it isn't clean. Another thing no one warns you about: you will grow faster than the people you left behind, in responsibility, in discipline, in perspective. And growth creates distance, not because you want it to, but because shared experience matters. That distance can hurt more than the physical challenges ever did. Another hard truth: leaving is harder than joining, because when you leave, the structure vanishes, the clarity vanishes, the mission vanishes. You have to learn how to reconnect with yourself, how to redefine who you are outside the uniform, how to live without constant pressure driving you forward. So if you're thinking about enlisting, ask yourself this: are you ready to grow, even if it costs you comfort? Are you ready to change, even if the people around you don't? Are you ready to carry responsibility long after the excitement fades? Because the military doesn't just give you stories, it gives you a new lens on life. And once you see the world through it, you never see it the same way again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.